Okay. So today we have a treat because we're going to be reading a real book, not one of those paper books that we've been reading. So, before we get started with our book, I would like somebody who knows some vocabulary about reading. So raise your hand if you know vocabulary about reading. Does anybody know what the word vocabulary means? Do you have a guess? What do you think vocabulary means? Sight words? Very close. Can somebody help out? Amari? Jaylen? Good. So Jaylen said it's a word that has a meaning. So it's just like a group of words that has meaning. Marc, can you tell me that again? What's vocabulary? What did we just say vocabulary was? Can you say that back to me? Good. Words that have meaning. That's what vocabulary words are. So, one of our big words for this story is going to be what a character is. So can somebody raise their hand and tell me what a character is? Marc?
A character.
What's a character?
Somebody that
One person speaking.
somebody that
Maya, what's a character?
somebody
Somebody
that's in a book.
that's in a book. Does somebody have a way to extend that definition? Yes.
It's a camera.
Is it just a person?
No, it's more than one person.
Let's wait for Darnell to tell us. So a character can be a person, it can be an animal, it can be anything. I mean, only my voice right now. We're listening to me. So a character is anything in a story that is doing something. So a character could be a toaster if the toaster was doing something in the story. So can somebody repeat back to me what I just said was what a character was? Yes.
A character is something that is just something in the story.
Good. So Marc, what's a character? Repeat back to me what I just said a character was. No, a character is something that is doing something in a story. So what's a character?
Somebody that's doing something in the story.
Correct. Okay. So in our book is called When Tiny Was Tiny.
I know all about that book because my mom.
I did not, hold on. I need everybody to be, Karen, and no, actually not, your name is Courtney. Please stay seated. We aren't speaking, our voices are off, okay? Can Marc scoot in and everybody be facing me? Aniya, face me. All right, so our book is called When Tiny Was Tiny. And it's only my voice happening right now, okay? So, when Tiny was tiny. This is Tiny. This is Tiny when he was tiny. He fit in my shoe. He fit in my bag. He fit in my pocket. Tiny did not stay tiny. Tiny grew. Now, Tiny is not tiny. Now Tiny is very big. When Tiny was tiny, he dug in the dirt. He still does. Has bigger holes, don't you think? Thumbs up if you think he digs bigger holes now. When Tiny was tiny, he licked me. He still does. Yuck. When Tiny was tiny, he had big feet. Raise your hand if you think you have big feet. He still does. Ow! What's he doing here? Can I have a quiet hand tell me what he's doing? Maya?
Stepping on his toe.
He's stepping on his toe, right? Get off my foot, Tiny. Some days, Tiny still thinks he is tiny. I try to teach him. I tell him he is not tiny. I tell him he is big. I tell him big is good. When Tiny was tiny, he could not run fast. Now he can. Wait for me, Tiny. When Tiny was tiny, he could not do tricks. What kinds of tricks do you think they're teaching you? Can I have a quiet hand to tell me one trick? Andrea? To roll over. Can I have another quiet hand to tell me a trick that you think he's teaching Tiny? Marc?
To sit.
To sit? He can't do any of that. But now he can. Good dog, Tiny. When Tiny was tiny, he was my best friend. Raise your hand if you have a best friend.
I have one is him.
Didn't ask the voices. And he still is. The end.
Aww.
We can do a quiet clap for the end of the story. Quiet. Okay. I have a couple questions to see if you remember what happened in the story. So I'm going to ask a quiet hand to tell me what happened in the story. But I haven't asked the question yet, so don't raise your hand. So one of my questions is, where are some places that Tiny fit when he was tiny? Who remembers? Afonte?
In his pocket.
In his pocket? Where else did he fit when he was tiny? Karen?
In his pocket.
Let's see. True. Where else did Tiny fit? There's one more place. Aniya?
In the bike.
No. Can I have somebody help out Aniya for the last place? Jason? In the shoe. Aniya, where was the last place that Tiny could fit? In his shoe. Good. So then, what were some things that Tiny could do when he was tiny what are some things that Tiny couldn't do when he was tiny, but he could do when he was big? Can I have a quiet hand? Jaylen? Roll over. So what's something more specific? Because in the book, they didn't say roll over. What was the thing that they said? Can I have somebody tell Jaylen what the word was, what the vocabulary word was? Maya?
Sit down.
No, it's too specific. What's the vocabulary word they used in the story? Does anybody know? That's what a vocabulary word is, but what is the word? So the word was tricks. So Jaylen, what's one thing that Tiny couldn't do when he was little, but he could do when he was big? Tricks. Good. Can I have one more thing that he couldn't do when he was little, but he could do when he was big? Karen? He could dig a bigger hole, but couldn't he dig holes when he was little too?
Yes.
Can you
Yes.
Who thinks yes?
Yes. 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 Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Zandria, why do you think yes?
Because when he was little, the dirt was too heavy. He can't do it because the dirt was too heavy.
So you think he can't dig holes when he was little?
Yes.
Who thinks he can dig holes when he was little?
He was big.
Yes. Why do you? What made you think that he can dig holes? What happened in this story? Didn't they say? So what is happening here? He dug a little hole, so he can dig holes both when he was big and when he was little. So is there another thing that he couldn't do when he was little, but he could do when he was big? We already said tricks. What's another thing that they listed in the story? Jaylen? That's a trick.
Oh, he couldn't finish his doghouse.
Where did you see that?
Because he was big and he couldn't finish it out.
All right. So Jaylen, there is a whole section in the book that says when he was big, he could couldn't. What's he doing here, Jaylen? He's running. So what's another thing that he couldn't do when he was little, but he could do when he was big? Run, right. All right.